Hello, Dr. Alan Harper here, your Secure Vibe Coder. And we are here for another live Secure Vibe Coding session. We are building this app that we call User Vibes OS. And the purpose of this app is to receive and collect vibes from the user throughout the user journey lifecycle. So, whether they are just landing on your landing page or maybe filling out a survey that you give them, or you add them to a wait list or email list, throughout the life cycle, all the way through to exit, we want to send them a survey to see if we can recapture them. Throughout that whole process, the user's throwing off vibes. And we want to make it easy on developers. We want to have a one stop shop so that developers can collect these vibes. Now, we've been focusing on the feedback uh, component here. And let me go ahead and get my music going. All right. We've been focusing on the feedback component because there's not much competition there. And the ones that are there, we're already doing better than they are. All right. So we've been at this about 30 hours now, maybe 32, something like that. And this is our 25th session. So thank you for joining us tonight. If you've joined us here, go ahead and drop me a hello in the chat. Let me know you're here. Oh, hey, 3Ds, I see you. Appreciate that. Welcome back. All right. So we've had some exciting days here in the last couple of days. We actually launched this thing and it's live now in production. You can go to uservibes.os.ai. That's user vibes with an S in here, os.ai. And you can sign up and you can play with this app and you can play along and see what we're building real time. All right. But the way this app works is it has a JavaScript front end and it has a widget that can be installed in there per the instructions, depending on the mode that you set up, whether it be the tier 1 mode or the tier 2 mode. And if you guys do play with it, drop me a note and let me know if you're having any issues with it, if it's working as advertised in the instructions and what you've seen here in the demo. Okay, that'd be awesome if I get that feedback from you. And eventually, what I want to do is add a little feedback or bug reports in our very own tool here, because we eat our own dog food. It's called dog fooding in the industry. And I'm gonna have to figure out a way to put it in our interface so it's not weird. I might just put a little logo of a dog bowl or something and just say, dog food. And when you click on it, it comes up and says all of these components. It has, feature requests, bug reports, all of this stuff. But at least these two, right? Because these are the two that are central to get feedback from your users, all right? Because we know that the users have the best feature requests. They have the best ideas. And if you implement a user's idea by way of feature request, they will be a user for life, okay? Just like you guys are going to be a user for life, right? All right. So we have this JavaScript app that we've been talking about, and then the user can come to our website and hit our landing page, and then they can sign up, and we could take credit card payments. I'll talk about that in a second. And then what they do is they go to the dashboard on the back end. We'll show you that, and then they can set up an API key, and we keep track of all of this in Convex. All right. Now, just right up front, I'll let you know that this is a pretty complex app. Okay, this is more complex than probably anything that any of you guys will build right outside the gate. It's got a lot of moving parts to it. It's got, this whole, piece with a front end Java component that gets installed. So this is not your average app. And I purposely chose it that way because I wanted to show you that there is no limit to vibe coding. And if I can do it with this, then you can do it with your app. And you've seen we haven't wrote any code ourselves. AI writes all the code. We just have to tell it what to do. Now you need to know what to tell it to do, and that's where I come in, right? And that's where I can help you. If you want to learn more about me and vibe coding, check out that QR code up there and also the link down below. You'll find my free mentoring group where I'm dropping value every day. But inside of there, you also find out about the Secure Vibe Coding Masterclass. And we cover all of this and a whole lot more, okay? You also get more access to me inside of there. All right, so enough said on all of this. Let's take a look at the checklist over here. We've been working on this to-do list. Like I said, we've been at this about 20, or excuse me, yeah, probably about, let's see, we're 25th session, about 32 hours, something like that, if I had to guess. And we're already we have probably what would have taken a developer about 3 months to do on their own. Last I checked, we were over 40,000 lines of code. It was amazing, and that was a while ago, so we might be more than that now. All right, so we've got the domain set up. All right, so we use uservibes.os.ai. So you can go out there right now and sign up to it. I'm going to show you the page here in a second. Okay, and tonight what we're going to do is set up our Google SSO. All right, this is a really important step. It's not that difficult to set up, and we're gonna pull that off tonight. Now, I want to talk to you about the current state of the app. Last night, I found, after we disconnected, I found out two things. You'll recall, if you were here last night, 3Ds, I know you were, I couldn't figure out for the life of me why I couldn't see the activities in the production database. Well, it's because I was looking at the wrong database. So user error there, and that's what just happens when I got too many things going on. But what happened was I had the wrong database selected. I should have been in my UserVibe OS database. And once I switched to that, then all my data was in there. So when I click on data here, it's all here. Okay, so that was mistake number one. Mistake number two was I couldn't figure out why you guys could get in, and it didn't even give you an opportunity to put a credit card in, even though we were trying to do test cards. The reason is I just did a little Google search today, and found out that for Clerk is handling the Stripe subscriptions, but that's in beta mode right now for Clerk. And as part of that, or at least currently, they do not allow you in production mode for Clerk to use test credit cards. So in other words, you can't do test mode in production mode of Clerk. And so what they recommend that you do is just go ahead and use a real credit card, and then just cancel it right away. So just a little bit ago, I checked that out, and sure enough, I was able to show that. Let's see here. For example, if I go to subscriptions, I was able to sign up, and right here, I paid my $19, and it actually, then I went into my Stripe backend and refunded me. So it's working, but then I went ahead and turned it off because I don't want you guys paying, for this site. You guys have been coming along for the journey, right? So I want you to be in there for free, banging on it. So what I did was then I come back into configure here and go under billing, and I disabled that billing right here. I disabled that. So it's, so you can go out there. There's just no credit card collection right now. And in the future, when I get this thing ready to launch, then we'll go ahead and turn that back on. Okay. All right. So for now, you guys are free to go in there, but I wanted you to understand that, and you're going to run into that too when you go to deploy through the Secure Vibe Code OS, which takes advantage of Clerk and Stripe. You would figure out, like I did eventually, but now it won't take you as long to figure out that, hey, when you're in production mode inside of Clerk, then you're going to have to enable production mode, live mode on Stripe. It's just automatic. Okay. And that's because Clerk's handling all that for you. And that's the only way they do it right now. Okay. Now I would like, and I think I'll probably send them a note just to kind of suggest that, hey, it'd be good, if you guys supported test mode for credit cards, even in production. But who knows? Who am I? Right. So, all right. So now you're caught up. All right. And now we're ready to advance on this app. All right, so let's go in and set up the Google SSO. First of all, let's take a look at the site. Okay, here's the site right here. So those of you, again, that are just joining, go ahead and go out to User Vibes OS. There's an S here, User Vibes, plural, OS.ai. And you can go ahead and log in. We already have some people in there. I'm not going to show that page because I don't want to show their email addresses. Okay. Once you come in, the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to set up an API key. or a set of API keys, and you're going to have to name it. Okay. And then once you set up an API key, then what you can do is set up a feedback project. You come into the feedback page, you hit create project, and you can set up your first project. You're gonna have to select that API key. So it all makes sense, right? And we'll figure out a way to, like, put some instructions in here and make that make more sense. Maybe do a little video eventually. All right, so when you come into the project, this is what it looks like, right? And so we have this widget here, but there's nothing in it at the moment because none of you guys have installed anything. Well, you wouldn't install it in mine anyway. You would install it in yours. When you come in, you'll see your list of projects, and it'll be empty to start with. And the way it's set up is you should only see yours. If you see anything else in there, let me know. That's a security vulnerability. I need to know that. I don't think that'd be the case. All right, so you come over to the board here, and you can see a Kanban board, and then we have a change log, we have comments, demo. We've seen all this before, okay? I just wanted to kind of flash it. We also have a security dashboard. Of course, there's nothing in this production site yet, right? There's only one project in here, and it's marked as secure because it has no findings, all right? The way this works is if there are critical or high findings, then this no longer says secure. It'll say, like, critical or high, All right, so now let's go ahead and pull up our local instance because that's what we're going to be playing with tonight. So I think we've got that running, if I'm not mistaken, on... I don't know what we got it running on. Let's see here. Matter of fact, let me just make sure I have everything configured right. Okay. Hold on a second. That's what happens when you got like 4 or 5 projects running. You lose track. Plus, I'm getting old. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure we're running here. Okay, that wasn't running. Okay, npm run dev. Okay, 3000. And here's our convex, it's running. And then we should have one more of them. I think this one right here. And it is running on 3002. That's our test site. Okay, so let's go ahead and play. Shall we? Okay, so if I go to 3000. Now remember, this is my dev site. That's separate than my production site. We did that purposefully, and that's good security best practice. Okay. All right, so here we go. We've got 3000. What's this here? Okay, it's a hydration issue. A lot of times on your local development server, you'll get that. So don't worry about it. If you refresh, it should go away. If it doesn't, then feed it to Claude Code. All right, so let's go ahead and log in. And we'll notice here that we've got on our dev site, we've still got this set up because we're in test mode. This confused me last time. It's very confusing. But what we're going to do is we want to, on the production site, we want to set that thing up. Now, to do the same, we want to set it up so that we can log in with Google. So for example, if I click this, it should go ahead and log me in using my Gmail. And since it already knows me, it never even asked me to select my Gmail. Okay, so all that's good. Again, what is this? Another hydration. I think I'm going to feed this to Claude Code because I'm tired of seeing that. Okay. So this is how you vibe code, guys. You see error like that? When you're tired of seeing it, you go ahead and handle it. Okay. I'm seeing this hydration error both on the homepage, but then also on the dashboard. Fix this. Okay, so we'll let that cook. We've got a clean slate over here. We've got all of our files checked in. That's best practice. Pro tip. Always make sure that before you make a change, you've already checked stuff into GitHub, right? So that if you don't like what it ends up doing, you can always just revert. And never be afraid to just revert. Like you just come in here and you say revert, or you can just come up here on the files that change and you can hit the little back arrow. It's like a little curly arrow right here, and it'll discard all the changes. So I do that often. Like if I don't like what it's doing, then I don't have a problem. You don't have to feel like you're hurting the feelings of this thing. All right. Okay. All right. So where are we at? So we're in. This was the test site. All right. Let me just go ahead and get up the other one, the actual test site, just so we'll have it for future. Okay. Make sure all that's still working. Should be. All right. Cool. All right, now what I really want to do is I want to show you guys how on the real landing page or on the real home page. Let me go ahead and log out. Excuse me, log out button's right here. Just had to scroll down. Okay, so I'm logged out. You'll notice when I go to log in, it's only asking me for email address at the moment. That's all we've given it inside of Clerk. So let me show you where that's at. So inside of Clerk, which, let me close that one. Okay, so inside of Clerk here, notice we're on the production settings. Okay, you got production and development inside of Clerk. You got to make sure now that you keep them straight in your head. So on the production instance, we can come up here under SSO, that's single sign-on, SSO connections. And you'll see that there's a Google provider here. They give you this by default, but it's disabled. Okay, so we'll go ahead and click on it. And it says right here, OAuth credentials are shared, okay, between I don't even know what that stands for, and social connections. I think this is the name of Clerk underneath the hood. All right, so if we want to enable this to turn this on, then we need to go set up these settings out on Google, okay? So, in fact, like, it shouldn't, like if I enable that there, let's see. Okay, now you'll notice if I go to turn this on, it should not let me do this because it doesn't have a client, and I just want to test it. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. All right, so I don't have a client ID and a secret yet. So how do we get those? Okay, so how we get those is we follow these directions right here. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm clicking in the right place. Yep. Okay, so they give you directions here and they tell you exactly how to do this. Okay, so what we're going to do is down here, we've been doing all this stuff, but down here in Google, it says that you go to your Google Cloud Console. Now I'm gonna make sure, because I got stuff going on in Google, I'm gonna drag that off screen real quick and I'm gonna click on it and I'll bring it back. I just want to make sure I don't dox myself again or yet. Okay. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure it came up in the right spot on Google because like I said, I have lots of sites. Okay, so when I clicked on this link right here, Google Cloud Console, and we're just going to follow these steps right here. It's very short and sweet. Okay, so I clicked on this arrow right here and it launched me into my Google Cloud Console. If you don't have an account, it's going to have you set one up. There's a couple more steps you have to go through. You just have to, basically come in there and give it a project ID. All right. And it's going to walk you through all that. But I have right now this project called User Vibes OS. Okay. So here's where we're going to start then. Okay. So right here it says select a project or create one. Okay. So I've selected that project. You will be redirected to your project's dashboard page. Okay. So that's what we're at right here. It says welcome. Or it says you're working in. So this is the project dashboard page right here. Okay. Now what we're going to need are these items down here. Now follow along. Okay. In the top left, it says select the menu item and select APIs and services. We can also see that we can do it up here, or we can also see it down here where it says API and services. Okay. So we're going to click that button. Okay, so this brings you into all these APIs, right? But we're not going to need all of them. We just need one of them. Okay, so now we're just following the steps here that Clerk gave us. Okay, next to credentials, select Create Credentials, then select OAuth Client ID. You might need to configure your OAuth consent screen. Okay. Okay. So we want credentials. Okay, and then we want to, I think it said create credentials, right? Yes. Next to create credentials, and then select the OAuth client ID. Okay, create credentials right here, and then select OAuth client ID. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is get rid of that. All right, so what we have to do is we have to create this client ID, and in order to do that, you need to configure your consent screen. Okay, so we'll go ahead and configure that consent screen. Okay. You have to give it an app name, so we'll call this user vibes OS. You have to give it a support email address, and I'll just give it mine. Okay, and then you hit next here. Okay, and okay, yeah. Now, if you were just going to do this with if you were just going to use it for yourself, you would put internal, but we're going to put external. Okay, and then we're going to hit next. And again, we have to put a contact address because all of this is going to show up on the consent form, so that if like a user needs to get in touch with us, they can. Okay. Okay, and then we say, I agree. I've read this before, but you should. And then you hit continue and then create. Okay, so that's our OAuth consent form. All right, so then, okay, let's go back to the directions. Okay, select the appropriate application type for your project. In most cases, it's a web application. Okay. All right. Let's get to where that thing is at right now. Okay, so now I think what we have to do is it didn't tell us because I think maybe they changed something in here, but if I recall right, I think we have to click here now. Yes, okay, here we're caught back up. Okay, so the type that you want here is a web application. Now you could do, for future reference, you could do Androids, you could do iOS. Like if this were a mobile app, you could do, but for us, it's going to be a web application. Okay. Go ahead and give it a name. And you can just leave this default like it is. Now, under this authorized JavaScript origins, very important, okay, that we get this right. So right here, select add URI, and then we need to put these in. Okay, these are our domains. Okay, so you want to put both the root domain and the www if you have a www, and we do. Okay, and then if you're just doing this on your local host in the future, you'd put your local host in a port. But it's very important that you get this right, because if you don't do this, like, it won't work. I've run into this before, had to troubleshoot it. So right here we put HTTPS user vibes os.ai. Add another one, HTTPS. These are the sites that are authorized to run this OAuth consent, OAuth SSO connection back to Google. User vibes, case doesn't matter here, .ai, but we want both the root and the www. Okay, we don't need any more. Okay, now we need an authorized redirect as well. And right here, it says for the authorized redirect, paste the authorized redirect value you save from the clerk dashboard and then hit create. Okay, and that's going to then give you your client ID and your secret, and then we need to save those somewhere secure. Okay, so let's go back to our clerk ID. And let's make sure that I want to leave that open, but let's get another tab and go back to our dashboard. And what we're looking for is that where did they put that? Okay, let me just search for it. It's funny because it's their instructions. You'd think they would tell us exactly where to get it. Value you save from the clerk. Authorized redirect URI value that you save from the clerk dashboard. Authorized redirect URI. Let me search for that. It wouldn't be the first time I had to wait a second. It wouldn't be the first time I had to Google like where to find something. Okay, search docs, navigate to. Okay, that's more like it. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Okay, so here's our authorized redirect. Okay, so where is the redirect paths? Okay. What I'm thinking it's going to be is dashboard. All right, I'm gonna guess that's what it is, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So let's just go with that. HTTPS and user vibes os.ai/dashboard. Okay, I think that's it. And it may prefer the www. Let's see here. No. Yeah, I think it's just like what I just did here. I've done this a few times and I'm pretty sure this is it. Okay, so we hit create. If not, we're gonna get an error and we'll have to troubleshoot it. Okay, so this is created now. Okay. So yeah. And I'm a knucklehead, so I just we're gonna have to do it again because I just doxed that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that one. But you guys saw it was a pretty simple process, so we can do it faster now. Okay, you get to see it twice: web application, URI, HTTPS, user vibes. OS. Oh, the joy of doing this live. That's cool though. It's fun. It's not boring, that's for sure. And I'm glad you guys get to see how to do it because a lot of people don't show these details. I hope you appreciate what I'm doing here. Dashboard. Because this is where we're going to redirect to after they log us in. Okay, and I'm going to hit create, except what I want to do is take that off screen real quick. Okay, so I need to take the client ID then and copy it, and it's going to come in here. Okay, and there's nothing secret about that, but the next one is. So let me go ahead and take it off screen too, and I will copy that in and I will bring it back. Okay. All right, guys. This is what it looks like when you put in the client ID and the secret in those two slots, and then you hit create, and you get this. It's active now. Okay. So now what should happen? Okay, it's a big should. We should be able to come out here to user vibes OS AI. We should be able to log in now, and it's asking us if we want to log in with Google, and I say yes, I do. Okay, now here we go. Access blocked. This app's request is invalid. Okay, you can't sign in because this app sent an invalid request. Okay. The redirect URI is incorrect. Okay, I think maybe what I do is okay, I'm just looking here to see if I can show you guys this, and I can because the secret is hidden. Okay, come back in here, and I'm gonna let's try this www. Save. Okay, now let's try it again. No, it still didn't like that. If you're a developer of this app, see the error details. Okay, hold on a second. This is the wrong callback. It's somewhere here in the clerk, and we're just going to have to find it. Hold on one second. Okay, when we come back in here, what we're going to do is we are going to Google where to find this in the dashboard, or ask Claude. Okay, I think it set us up with the URL, and we just got to find it. I just didn't know where it's at. It's probably in the settings there somewhere. All right, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure this is it. Okay. Sign into your clerk account, go to settings, choose redirect URIs tab. Well, there's a daggone tab for that under settings. Okay, duh. So it's down here somewhere. Okay, it's not there. Where are you at? Didn't say anything about setting any of that stuff up. Where are you at? Let's look in the docs this time. In the connections configuration page, hey Movies, how are you? Thanks for saying hi. I appreciate that. Oh, okay, hold on a second. It's going to look something like this, I think. Let's try that. Sign in and account start. I know I've seen something like that before. I think we were probably supposed to copy it from someplace else. Okay, where are we at? Okay. No. All right, time for Claude Code. Let it try. Okay, I've set up the OAuth for Google, but I can't find the authorized URI redirect URL, and I'm getting this error after I try to log in. Help me find that in the clerk dashboard. Okay, it says go to your clerk dashboard, configure SSO connections. We've done that. Click on Google, look for the authorized redirect or callback. It should be something like, so they're saying it's in that actual thing in there. Okay, yeah, all right, well, let's see. If it was a snake, it would have bitten us. SSO connections, they're saying it's in here. And it probably is. And once again, I'm gonna have to get another client secret. All right. Where is it at? Oh, here it is right here. Duh. All right, look, we need that. I'm gonna take that and I'm going to cancel this and I'm going to disable this and come back to it here in a moment. Now that I've revealed my secret key yet again. That's all right. Now what I'm going to do is take that off screen and I'm going to reinitialize that one more time over here. What I'm going to do is kill this one and let you guys watch me set up another one. Third time's the charm, right? Web application, URIs. In fact, I have this under paste right now, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in. That's what it needed right there. OAuth callback, okay? And that direction page didn't say that, so I don't know how we were to know that. But anyway. Thank you, Claude. Okay, it's all correct. Okay. And by the way, this can take up to 5 minutes for it to go active. So like if it goes through and gives us a different type of error, then we'll wait. I did again. Daggone it. All right, the fourth time's the charm, guys. Golly, sorry about that. It's been a long day. At least this doesn't take too long. Okay. And don't hit create yet, man. Take that over here. Okay. Okay, I'm putting that client ID and secret back in. And now we have the correct authorized redirect URI. And I'm gonna hit update and then enable that. I don't know why they don't hide it in that interface. Everything else around here hides things if they're secret keys, but I guess they don't expect you to be streaming when you do this. All right. Here we go. We got that back up. Let's try it one more time. The fourth or fifth time is the charm. Yeah, okay. This is what I expected to see. Now, this still may not work because it takes like 5 minutes sometimes for it to come in, but we'll see if we're lucky. Ah, it worked. Okay, guys, you saw it. As many times as it took me to do it, you saw how to create the OAuth credentials and get them stored in Clerk. It's not all that difficult. But it was tricky since I had doxed myself 3 times. But anyway, we have now, if you go back to the production site, guys, if you come up to User Vibes OS AI, and you should be able to log in with your Google credentials now. Okay. All right. So we could check that off the list. That's a big accomplishment. Yay. Okay, now let me let's see, where's somewhere here I have, okay, that's what I was looking for. Let's go back here and take a look at, let's get rid of all these. Let's go back to here. Yep, this is the old stuff, so let me cancel that out. Okay, yep, that's all still there. Okay, all right, big check mark here. That was a huge accomplishment. Okay. All right, now these next couple steps, I think I'm gonna, yeah, I think we might be able to bite this one off. We'll see. Okay, so what I want to show you is inside of the app here, on an actual feedback board. Okay, there is, and this one has a pending comment. That's all fine and dandy. Okay, but over here on the settings page, we have the ability to generate a JWT and test it. Right here, we can put this in and see if it'll validate it. Now, we've never tested this yet, so it's been on my checklist of things to actually test this. All right, so all right, so what we need to do, and in fact, I'm looking at this, I don't think this instruction right here is not correct anymore either. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it now that, hey, this is a clue to me that this is probably old code. Okay, so I'm going to tell it now, hey, look, that all worked, but I want to fix the JWT token tester on our settings page within a feedback board. Okay, and I'm going to give it some more instructions on that. Watch this. Okay, that all worked. Thank you. Now I want to switch to a different topic. We have a JWT tester panel on our settings inside of our features or our request boards. It appears that is working off of old code before we refactored, because it mentions a public key to sign the JWT token. That's no longer the case. We are asking the developer to use a secret key to sign their JWT token. So I want you to update that comment on that panel. But moreover, I want you to evaluate the code and how we are validating the JWT tokens. And then also want you to evaluate the code and how on the embed tab, we are instructing the user how to generate that token on their end. And I want you to build me a test script that will allow me to generate a test token with a secret key that I will put in the that I will generate and feed to it. And I want you then to let me run that script and generate that JWT token so that I can put it in the tester on that settings page and validate it. But that was a mouthful. Okay, sure beats typing. You can speak faster than you can type. At least I can. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. Now, what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a test script. I want it to go fix its code, first of all, because it's got old code in there. I can just tell by looking at it. But now what I want it to do is provide me a script so that I can test and validate these JWTs. And then this will give me some assurance that, well, it'll tell me that that tester box on our settings is actually working. And we want that to work because when a developer is troubleshooting their end, they need to make sure that that they're generating a proper JWT token. Okay, this is very important. So right now it's going out and reading all that code, updating itself on how all that works. Okay, it's going to review the embed instructions like I told it to. And what I'm getting at there is right up here on the embed tab, we have instructions here for the back end where we tell them how to generate a JWT token. So this is essentially what the script will look like, okay? But I want them to go ahead and I want it to give me a version of the script that will run on the command line, okay? And it'll put it in the scripts folder for us so that we can use it in the future if we need to. Now, in the meantime, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead out here and generate another test secret token, okay? And let's see, generate test JWT. We don't have to put a project on there anymore, but we do need to add a local host 3000 because that's, or 3002, which is where our test site is set up. If you're doing this locally, this is the way you'll do it too. If you're doing it, by the way, on my production site, you got to give a real URL here, right? You can't give a localhost. You can give an IP that you're coming from or a URL. Either should work. Okay, so there it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this secret key, right? That I'm going to flash up here. We're not going to use it anywhere, but so you guys can see that. I'm going to copy that. So I have it in my clipboard ready to feed it to the test script. Okay, here we go. So now what it's doing is it's going to run, it generated a script, and what it's going to do is run that script. And it's in the scripts folder, which is good. And it's just given a bogus thing here. And what I'll do is I'll say, no, use this secret key. Again, this is a test secret key. You guys can relax. All my hackers out there. We're not going to use this anywhere. Okay, but I wanted to kind of generate a JWT for us. It's just running this script. I was lazy. I could have just ran that myself. Could have copy pasted its command, but I want as much as possible for AI to do the lifting here because I want you guys to see what's possible. Okay, so what it did is it's generating the token right there. I can hit Control O to see what it did, okay? And here's the actual JWT token. So I should be able to take that and paste it into the website. And with a little luck, it will work. Okay, I'm gonna come back up here to the feedback. And now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to create a project tied to that key, I think. Let's just try it first, okay? I don't know if this settings is tied to the actual project or not. It really isn't important to me, but if I get an error here, I'll know why. Okay, and I don't think it's gonna like these spaces here, but let's just see. Okay, didn't like that. Let me get rid of these white spaces. Okay, and then let me get rid of the carriage return as well while I'm at it. Okay. All right, so it didn't like that, but I want to make sure here. Hold on a second. Long secret key. Yeah, I think it's tied to the project. That makes sense. That's more secure, actually, that it's testing the one tied to the project. But I just wanted to check that for my own sanity. So let me come over here. And what I'll do is I'll create a new project. JWT test. And I'm going to select that key, test JWT. I'm going to create a project. Now we have every reason to believe that this should work. And if it doesn't, then it's back to Claude Code for troubleshooting. So I went to the settings, I scrolled down, and I go ahead and, JWT is not enabled yet because up here, excuse me for scrolling so fast, we need to change it from tier 1 to tier 2. Just by doing that, now we get the JWT token. Did you notice how it was smart enough to notice that we weren't in tier 2 mode? And so it wasn't going to let us test a token that it's invalid. That I didn't ask it to do that, by the way. That's Claude Code. That's how good this library is. It's much better than me. It's much better than you. Right? So you can trust it. Okay. Now I'm going to leave the white spaces in just to. Okay, didn't like that. Let me get rid of because I'm doing what a developer would do here. Okay, now let me get rid of the carriage returns. And if this doesn't work, then it's back to the drawing board with Claude Code. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give it this, and I'm going to say, I gave it this, and it didn't work. Okay. I had to hit Control O there again to get out of the output mode of Claude Code, in case you were curious. Now I'm going to give it that. I gave it this JWT and it did not work. It said invalid JWT token. Now it can see that was also listed up here, right? So it should be able to now figure it out. Okay, the issue is that this checks for the token in the used table, but this is a query, not a mutation. Okay, so it's debugging. Okay, I see the validation uses a secret key to verify the signature. The secret key is stored. Yeah. Yep, it's in the project. Okay. The issue could be that the secret key you gave me may not be the one linked to the project. It is. Project might have a different secret key. No, it doesn't. Let me check how the secret key is retrieved from the project. The validation uses this, blah, blah, blah. Can you verify this? Go into your project settings. Look at the JWT Advanced Security section, checking if the secret key shown there matches. Okay. And so notice this SK Live 586B6. Okay. Where's that at? It's right. That's the public API key. Where's the... I don't see a... Okay, hold on a second. It's funny. It knows where that script is, and actually, I wanted to remove that because the developer won't have that script. Okay, hold on a second. Generate. Okay. I'm not seeing that JWT Advanced Security section. Like, where is that on the settings page? Alternatively, you can check the embed tab, which should show the secret key for the JWT. If they don't match, The signature verification will fail. Okay, we could try that too, but I want it to tell me now why it lied to me. Okay, the UI says secret keys are automatically managed by, okay, you'll never see them. Yeah, generated when you enable tier 2, but it's not displayed to you. Okay, however, okay, now I see the full picture. It's auto-generated and stored, but I should retrieve it. Yeah. Okay, hold on a second. I got that key from the actual API keys page. I generated a new key, and that's the one that's associated with this project. Look, you have access to Convex. Run commands and check what's in the database. Sort this out. Use ultra thinking. That's not correct. You can run queries. I've seen you run queries against the Convex database with the Convex run command. So now it's apologizing and running the query like I told it to. Now it's going to get it wrong, and then it's going to have to figure out how to run the query. Okay, let me try a different approach. Yeah. Okay, should look like JX. It's asking for the project ID. And that is right here. Hit copy. Okay, there it's returning its stuff. So, all right, should get to the bottom of this. Okay, there are two different keys. The key you used is named test JWT is manually created key, but the project's JWT validation uses auto-generated. Okay, we'll just figure that out. Let me generate a new token with the correct secret key. Yeah, but hold on a second. Yeah, but hold on a second. How will the developer know what that generated key is? All they will have is their secret key on their end. Okay, so you built the script and you set us down this path. I want the developer to be able to have a simple process to validate their JWT token using the embed instructions we give them and the only secret key they have, which just comes off the API page. Sort this out. What is it doing here? Hold on a second. Okay. So what it appears was going on was, even though we generated a secret key, it was regenerating another one behind the scenes and storing that in the database. So we told it to, it's basically correcting that now. It's actually using the actual secret key that the developer has access to. Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, I'm going to make it explain that better because it still doesn't make sense to me. I'm just letting it finish its work here. Okay. All right. Look, I'm confused. Tier 2 security mode was working, and the developer was able to use the secret key that was generated. Are you telling me that the embed instructions had the actual secret key that you were generating, and is that why it was working before? In terms of just regular JWT validation, that would explain it to me, but I need to understand that, and you need to confirm that before we go any further. Okay, it looks like it's doing some testing here. I'm not gonna interrupt it right now because it might be in a broken state at the moment. I'm gonna let it do its thing, and then I'm gonna make it explain better. What could have been happening is in the embed instructions, which we did use to build our server, our test server. Maybe we were using, like maybe it put the new secret key in there. That's the only thing that would make sense to me. Generate, okay, with your, okay, so all right, hold on a second. Okay, so now I'm giving it this I'm confused thing. Now, the beauty of what we're doing here is everything is on the local host. First of all, I can revert all this if I'm frustrated with it. We're not messing with the production server. And see, this is the value of separating your development server from your production server. See, so we're not going to break our production server until we're sure that this works, right? And we would test it here on our dev system. Now, as we get more mature and we get a busier, code base, what I'll do is probably break out and have a test instance as well. But no sense in confusing you guys with that right now. It was hard enough to get the development and the production working, during these streams with all of the screen sharing and everything. Okay. Okay. Yes, he can confirm that the embedded instructions do show the actual auto-generated secret key, and here's how it worked. Okay. All right. I'm satisfied with that. That's the only thing that was making sense then. The problem was you created a separate secret key manually on the API keys page. You know what? Maybe we don't need the API keys page anymore. That could be a refactor, and we could save the user that step. Interesting. That's interesting. In fact, that's desirable if I think about it. Like, why make the user generate an API key? Like, they can manage them there, but why make them generate one if we're not going to use it? Now, so it may have just reversed all that. So let me read it some more. The problem was the original design was fine. I was wrong to change it. The issue was just that you were using a different key than the one shown. Should I revert my changes and keep the auto-generation approach, or do you prefer the new approach where the developer explicitly select the key that to use? Let's leave it the way it is now. I'm kind of torn because it is a cleaner design to let it auto generate the keys on the fly, and then the user that saves the user a step. So I'm kind of leaning toward doing that. Let's see this process work. We can always change it. No, for now, leave it the way that you've set it to where it uses my designated keys, and let's proceed with the test and make sure it works. And then I'll sleep on that. We have the ability to, what it's saying is we could go back to the auto generate. And then what I would do if we did that is I'd get rid of the requirement for you guys to generate your own key. And I'm leaning that way, but I want to sleep on it. First things first, though, I want to see this test page work, and we'll call that a victory. Hey, Run Cut Stories. Thanks for joining. Thanks for saying hi. I appreciate that. Hey, guys, if you want to learn more about me, check out that free mentoring up there. You can Google me up online, Dr. Alan Harper. You'll see I've written 7 books on cybersecurity. I'm a best-selling author. I'm also been in cybersecurity for 36 years. And been there, done that in all aspects of cyber. So what we're doing is we're doing secure vibe coding on this channel. You will learn about vibe coding elsewhere, but they won't talk about security. And there's a lot of security issues to be aware of with secure vibe coding. We're taking care of those issues. And so we are building this app called uservibes.os.ai, and you could go up there and you could check it out. Looks like this. uservibes.os.ai. Here's the production one right here. And you can read about it. These are placeholder images, like none of this stuff is correct here, but the login and the backend is correct, and you can check it out. It's got a snazzy dashboard, a security console, and a whole bunch of functionality. But catch up in the previous videos. But anyway, that's what we're doing. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, 3Ds. That's why I'm sharing it. A lot of guys, they'll do videos, they're nice and scripted, right? And then they skip all this stuff. And then you get stuck because you're down the weeds and you've never experienced this before. So that's my purpose in doing this. Now, hindsight's always 20/20. What I'll probably do is take some lessons learned out of this, and I'll backport them into the Secure Vibe Code OS, which we built this thing on, right? So that I can remove some of these steps for you guys in the future, right? So when I do like the next series of videos, whatever, we want to do all these steps. But anyway, that's all good. So I'm learning in that regard too. Okay, where were we at? Okay, so here we go. There was that secret key I gave it. Now I want to go ahead and, actually it's going to generate another one. Okay, there it is, freshly generated token. Okay, go to your project security page and paste this in, and let's see what we get. Okay, we'll see. Kind of skeptical at this point, but we will see. I'm just going to give it what he gave me. Okay, now it's got white spaces in it, and I suspect that's a problem. So let me get rid of them. Nope, no joy, as we say. Okay, what I'm going to do now is just take this. And you know what? I bet I need to refresh because I bet you I've got old code here. So just for good measure, what I'm going to do is take this and refresh. Because I could be sitting on like old code at that moment. Come back over to settings. Oh, it's showing the actual secret key now. Yeah, so we definitely had old code. Okay, it still says invalid though, but let me now like get all of this, including that secret key up there. Okay, that's an improvement in my book, but we're not done yet. Okay, this was close. Now I see the new interface. You can see the designated secret key that's selected. You also see how I pasted in the token you gave me. Check that. But you also see the error. Okay, it's telling us that it did something wrong here, and it's going to fix it. That's when you want to say, why didn't you just do that the first time? Well, it's not perfect. Now, I remind you, all this stuff we're doing with JWT, this is security stuff. Okay, like your vibe coded app, like out on Lovable or Bolt, is not going to do this stuff for you. And that's the problem. So we have to step in the gap, and we got to help people. We got to help them do it securely. And JWT tokens is a big part of that. You're not going to get that like out on Lovable new or whatever it is, and Bolt and all these other ones, these other vibe coding no code apps. Like, yeah, they'll give you a pretty looking app, but like it's not secure. And if you go and make that into production, you're just asking for it. Okay, here it goes. It's going to try it again. Now, what I don't like about what it's doing here is it's generating a new key. Okay. Yeah, hopefully that's the same one it's still selected in there. Look, I'm going to tell it to do something better. Okay, when I copy paste these, it has some white space and carriage returns. I want you to strip those out for the user if they happen to copy paste in the same way. Okay, so it's going to add some input sanitization, which is always a good thing anyway. It's going to strip the white space and carriage returns out from the token. Okay, good. So that way we don't have to keep and our users are going to make the same mistake. Okay. Okay. So fingers crossed. Refresh page. Settings. Okay, that same key is there. Okay. Bingo bango, guys. Yes. Yes. That's huge, guys. That is huge. Okay, so we had this broken JWT token tester, which was useless. Now it's working. So what'll happen is a developer now, developers know how to do this, or if you're a vibe coder now, you know how to do it. You generate a JWT token on your side and you can test it as part of your troubleshooting. If that's what you happen to like, what'll happen is a developer will just probably try to install our stuff. And if it doesn't work, they'll start troubleshooting. And part of the troubleshooting is always to check your token to make sure you're generating it right on your end. Okay, so this is perfect. Now, what we would do, one other thing we would do here is in the instructions here, we will include the script code for the developer. And that's one final icing on the cake. That is huge. Okay, it worked, and that is huge. I really appreciate it. Now, In the instructions, a little blue panel at the bottom of the settings page. Go ahead and add the instructions or add this script code that you use to generate the JWT so that a developer can do the same. And go ahead and put it in that blue section, but make it folded under so it could be expanded to save space. Okay. I just had this idea. That's the way I want it to look. So I just told it. That's the way you talk to these things. Right. And that just comes with the experience. Like, you have to know what you want. Right. But you guys will get that experience. Like, I can't give you that. Like, you're going to have to like bang on it and like look at it and like, no, that looks like crap. Let's, is there a way we can fold that, or is there a way we can compress that code? And it would do it for you. But I already know what I want. So, because I've seen this before. So there it is, putting that in there, but it's going to make it collapsible. That's the term I wanted to say. I said fold. Okay, now watch this. When I refresh this, I didn't even have to refresh because I saw it there. Okay, look here. How to get a test token. Okay, so get your secret key from the embed tab or the API keys page. Okay, good. Generate a JWT token on your back end using this algorithm. Okay, include the required claims. That's ID, email address, name, and expiration. Paste the token above and click validate token. And here's example code for them. Okay, that's good, except I also want them to, below that collapsible, put the command to run it. That's great, but below that collapsible code block, go ahead and show them, how to run it in Node. It used to have that statement, so I don't know why I deleted it, because sometimes it does things like that. So what we're looking for is down here below that. I want to see the actual instructions. And if we just leave this sit here, it should just do it. Come on. So 3Ds, are you going to work now or school? I mean, no, I know you don't go to school. Are you going to work now or are you going to bed? Because I know it's like 5 a.m. where you're at. Why didn't it give me the instructions? Okay. Let me refresh this time. It should have already updated it. Where did it put that instruction? It probably put it in here. Oh, wait a second. Oh, it's in the expanded. It hid the instructions too, which is cool. Oh, you're starting your work. Okay, cool. Well, that makes more sense to me. So you're just getting up early. Okay, hey, I appreciate that. I thought you were staying up late to watch me. All right, hey guys, we've done a tremendous amount tonight. We got our Google authentication working, and that was painful. And then we got this working, our JWT validation. That was also a little trickier than I thought, but Claude Code came through in both in style. We've got nice instructions here. It folds out, even gives them the command of how to run the thing. I'm telling you, I'm really feeling pleased with what we've done tonight. I hope you guys like it as well. And we got to end this because 3D's got to go to work. No, I'm just kidding. But he's been here since our first stream. So he's like in the Hall of Fame. But hey, for the rest of you guys, thank you so much for joining. Drop me a note here. Tell me you appreciate this. Give me a thumbs up so that the algorithms, wherever you're at, pick up those vibes, right? It's all about sending those vibes out, right? And that's why we are vibe coders, and we're building this app called User Vibes OS.ai. Hey, until next time, tomorrow night, I will see you. Look, we will do this tomorrow night and Sunday, or excuse me, tomorrow night and Saturday, I think, and then that'll be it because I'm going to take a week off. I'm taking a cruise. All right, so I'll be out for a week, and then we'll pick it up again. So you'll see that like the following Sunday, I'll be back and streaming again. All right, so hey, Love you guys. I really appreciate you spending time with me tonight. Do follow me. Check me out in that QR code and link below. Until next time, stay safe out there and be blessed by the best. Good night.